morning. I am Nico van der Merwe and I'm from SFC Defense Academy and David's Armory. I want to make this video this morning on reaction towards all the messages I receive, all the phone calls I receive, all the emails I receive, all the communication I receive from people on the outside sharing their concern, if I can call it like that, regarding what's going on in South Africa right now. Now, today is the 18th of March. It's approximately just before 0800 hours in the morning. And my reaction towards what's going on in South Africa right now, and my message to everybody out there is the following. To understand and decide what your actions are going to be regarding what's going on right now in South Africa. You must take South Africa and you must put it into perspective what's going on in Africa. Now, to take in consideration what's going on in Africa, you need to know what's going on globally and what is our situation as a South African in South Africa globally. Now, our problems are not unique. Our problems maybe just have a different color or flavor, but our problems are not unique. There's countries all over the world. I'm talking about Italy have their own unique problems. The Americans have their own unique problems. And sometimes I'm glad I'm not an American. They are facing tremendous issues in their country. Australia, Britain, all over the world. The people of Ukraine, Russia, they are inside a war. And now we are sitting here and we are wondering, what am I going to do? Now, the first thing I want you to understand, and this is now out of my perspective, and if you need to understand my perspective, you must understand how does my head work. Now, my head works in the following direction. First of all, am I prepared? Am I prepared for A, B, C, D, E? Am I prepared for A1, A2, B1, B2? Am I prepared for C1, C2, C3? Now, if we are talking about this is military, this is my military head, this is my head that was placed into a strategical thinking process while I was still in the military. And the first 10, 11 years of my life as an adult, I was in the military and I was doctrined, if I can say, you can say brainwashed, if that's the word you want to use, so be it, but it's all for good, in how my head works. Now, if you are prepared and you have made your appreciation regarding the situation currently in our country, and you have advised everybody in peacetime, and you have prepared in peacetime, then there will not be fear within you regarding what's going on. Only if your preparation is good. Sorry. So, preparation is the one thing. Have I spent enough time on the shooting range? Have I spent enough time with my family to introduce all the different options and all the different situations with them so that they understand what can happen? So if daddy say, we are going to go this direction, is your family prepared to follow you without hesitation? If you have spent all the weekends that you can relaxing and going away and doing what you want and spending some time with your family and your friends and never preparing, then you are going to be unprepared, unfortunately. Okay, so I do not want to speak too much about your preparation or your unpreparation or being unprepared. If this is the situation and you have been prepared, then fear will not set in to your system. Then you will think with a clear head. You will not allow fear to enter your system and disorganize your mind, because that's what fear do. That's what the enemy do. Now, if we talk about the enemy, we can talk about the enemy a long time. But you must understand and you must know your enemy. We have this little book. I wish I can find it. I think it's in one of the boxes over here. It's a little black book, and on the front there's an owl, and just beneath that the book goes, Know Your Enemy. And that's a booklet they gave us when we were in the military, so that you can study your enemy. And if you look at this, our enemy today, and if we go and read our Bible, our enemy today, we cannot touch the enemy of today. The enemy that we cannot touch is the bad spirits going around influencing people to look like your enemy. And that's the people we can touch. So what I want to tell you is, first of all, do your preparation psychologically, spiritually, physically, mentally. Know your enemy spiritually, physically, mentally. Once you are on that specific point where you feel satisfied with your preparation regarding that, then you can sit back and say, fear, you do not have a hold on me. In the Bible, the command to not fear comes out 365 times in the Bible. It's just a coincidence there's 365 days in the year, eh? So there's a command for every day. Do not fear. The last thing I want to speak to you about, and I'm going to read this from my computer, because sometime I made a study of this. What does hope means to me? And while I'm going to read this, I just wanted to show you, here on my computer, I have made a study of hope and what does hope mean for me. And I'm going to, while I'm going to read this out, I'm going to put it on the screen afterwards as well, so that it can help you in understanding what I see. Now, hope, what does hope means to me? If you break it up, it's H-O-P-E. Now, the first H, or the only H, is holy. Hope is holy. So if it is holy, it comes from a certain place and person. Hope is holy. Hope is not bad. That means it doesn't come from the enemy. It comes from the God Almighty. The O, obedience. There's a command. After command, there must be obedience. The P stands for planning, and I think we have spoken a lot on planning. What's your appreciation? What's your preparation? And your preparation is part of your planning. And the E stands for experience. Unfortunately, young people, 18 years old, 20 years old, most of them, they do not have experience regarding fear. And you have to go through a certain lifespan. You have to go through a certain period where you can gain experience. So that's our HOPE, stands for hope. It's holy, obedience, planning, and experience. Now, the information that you need to have so that you can plan. Number one, research. Past successes and losses, lessons learned. Now, information is only information unless you process it to intelligence. And intelligence, when information becomes intelligence, then you can do your planning. And intelligence is based on facts, right? So that's our hope, and that's how I see it. Just a few things that I take with to me wherever I go, because of my military brain. I was brainwashed like that and all those type of things. You must make an appreciation for the future. Stick to your plan. Have a good plan. Have a good plan. Experience is gained over a period of time, with age. All this within your relationship
I keep fighting
with God.
voices in my mind that say
If you have
I'm
everything in place,
not enough.
you have spent your time on the range and on your knees. Your equipment
Every
is ready
single
and
lie
serviceable.
that tells me I
Everything
will
is close by,
never
and it's
measure
not new
up.
to you because you have practiced it. And your relationship with the God Almighty
Am
is
I
in place
more than
and
just
strong.
the sum of every
Then I can give you hope
high and
today.
every
Do not fear.
low?
Do not fear anybody in South Africa. Do not fear anybody in the world.
Remind me
For the
once
people out
again
there
just who I
who
am,
do not want to listen to
because
this
I
message or
need to
lost me
know.
within the 1 or 2 minutes they opened this message, it's lost for you.
You say
For the people that still stayed on here after 11
when
minutes
I can
and 3
feel
seconds, 4 seconds,
you
take
say
care,
I am
have hope,
strong
and
when I
God
think
speaks.
I